Hello there! Once again, I welcome you to another Lightroom editing video. Today's video will be a little bit different from my other videos because I'm not gonna edit the picture that much that I usually do with my other RAW files. But first of all, before I start editing a little bit about the picture, this was actually a pretty cool scene, I think. What you can see here is Portree, which is kind of the main village of the Isle of Skye. And in the background you can see the Old Man of Storr, which pretty much is one of the main attractions of the island, and it's kind of the icon of the island. So it's kind of cool that this picture combines the city with the lights just before sunrise actually, as well as the icon of the island. As you can see here, I didn't manage to get this sharp, unfortunately. I really wish I would have got this sharp. It really bothers me. But overall, I still think it's an okay picture and definitely worth editing. Here to the settings, shot at ISO 100, 55mm on the Canon 600D, which is a crop sensor body, f8 and 1.6 seconds exposure time on a tripod. Alright, so first thing I'm gonna do is definitely raise the shadows a little bit. As you can see, I could raise it a lot, but that introduces so much noise because we almost have pure blackness in this picture. And I also don't wanna have all of this detail in this picture. I kinda like the mood of the very dark overall scene. However, a little bit of raising it would work quite well. I think I'm gonna stick with around plus 20 here. To highlights, I mean, for this picture I think I'm gonna leave the highlights at 0 just because there aren't really any very bright highlights, you know, the sun hasn't even come up yet. However, a thing that I'm going to do is raise the white so we get a little bit more dynamic into the picture. Now usually I would hold down the Alt key and make sure that none of the white parts are overexposed, meaning that you can only see black while holding down the Alt key. However, everything that's overexposed in this case are just the lights, and I really don't mind that, so I'm just gonna raise it until anything else but the lights come overexposed, and then just stop before that. Then to the blacks, I'm really not sure if I want to play around with the blacks at all. Nah, I think I'm just gonna leave them at 0. To contrast, I kinda like a bit of plus contrast, maybe plus 10 here. Then let's go to clarity. Now I'm really not sure. I kinda like the plus clarity look on the houses, however on the rest of the image I really don't like it, so I'm just gonna add some clarity later with the adjustment brush. For now, let's go to the color temperature, which definitely is a pretty big part for a sunrise photo. And I just kind of want to go in the middle, so I still remain some blues in the highlights, but I still have some warm tones as well. So don't make it like that, and also don't make it super blue like that. I think I'm just gonna stick around there. And to tint, I think I'm gonna add some magenta here. I really like magenta on sunrises. So let me see down here on the tonal curve, bringing up the highlights as usual. This time I'm not gonna do it as much, and the rest, maybe bring down the light slider a bit. Darks is fine how it was. Maybe bringing up the shadows a little bit just to raise the very dark portions of the image. And, you know, there's really not that much color in the picture, so I definitely don't think I have to fine-tune it. So I'm just gonna leave out the HSL tool. But to split toning, I think I might add some color into the highlights of this picture. But unlike my usual sunrise and sunset photos where I like to add oranges, I think I might go with a purplish color here. Of course, that's way too much. Just like that. Yeah, I kinda like that. Here's without, and here's with. Now, shadows, I'm not gonna mess with the shadows, I don't think. Detail, I mean, I could add some masking to the sharpening that is already there. It really doesn't need any more sharpening since everything is so dark that would just introduce a lot of noise. Then let's zoom in 1:1, and I mean, I don't really think I need noise reduction here because I haven't raised the shadows very much, so I think I'm fine here. I really like the starbursts here, even at f8, but there's definitely a little bit of color noise. I'm just gonna raise that until that disappears. That works pretty good and does the job. Then let's zoom back out again, just do my regular stuff, remove chromatic aberration, choose my lens in the profile, and so it removes all of the distortion. Then in terms of vignetting, I mean, I might add some vignetting to this photo, but it really doesn't have a huge impact to the photo. And to camera calibration and shadow sliders and primary color sliders, I mean, you could play around with these, but in this kind of photo it really will not have that big of a difference. Now, as you can see, I really like the sky in terms of its dynamic, but it's definitely way too bright, so I'm gonna grab a graduated filter here and just drag it over the sky like that and reduce the exposure. I really like that. I mean, even if you raise like the highlight slider here, it often has a huge impact into your dynamic, even if it overexposes your sky. You can always fix that just by bringing down the exposure for the sky, but dynamic is really a very important part of an image. So I think I'm gonna stick with around there. I think I even added some more highlights in the tonal curve here. Now, what I really don't like about this photo, how it is right now, is it's too dark in the houses. I don't mind the overall scene being dark, but the houses here could use some plus exposure. So I'm just gonna grab an adjustment brush, make sure the feather is to 100 as always, and then just kind of increase the exposure, as well as I'm gonna add some orange into the colors, just so the street lights get a little bit more pronounced. And then I'm just gonna paint over these houses right here, just like that. I can always fine-tune the color in a second, and something over there, and maybe even some on this house. Not too much though. Maybe even introduce some more plus exposure. I think around plus 60. 0.60 works quite well, and then let's go back to color here and fine-tune that a bit. I think I might go a little bit more towards the yellowish tones. Yeah, something like that works pretty well. And I feel like the overall picture is a little bit tilted to the right, so let me just fix that with the cropping tool and just kinda align the horizon here. Now, even though the houses go a little bit to the right up there, I mean, remember, this wasn't directly in front of me, so that's fine in my opinion. I really like this crop better though than the one before. I really think it works kind of better for my eyes. And with that said, I'm already done with this picture, so you can see there's really not that much that I did to it, but regardless, let's see where we started at. Here's the raw file, and here's what I've made out of it, so I definitely like this a bit better. Now, because this was kind of a different editing episode, and it was kind of short, I'm gonna go ahead and show you another picture, just to show you, so you can see here, once Lightroom loads, here's a picture of the Kerrang with some sheep on the edge here, and it was of course after editing. Please load Lightroom. Yeah, that looks definitely better. So this was after editing, you know, I'd done all of my editing, and I'm really happy with the picture, and I definitely love these sheep in the picture. But just to give you kind of a sense of irony, like 5 minutes later, this is what the scene looked like. A bunch of Asian tourists just here with their selfie sticks and what looks like a tablet taking pictures. Of course, this photo isn't edited, this is just a raw file. I'm not gonna bother and edit this picture. Well, anyways, I don't really know why I showed this picture to you. Just wanted to add a little bit of fun in my videos because they're so boring when I listen to them. Well then, let's end the video by showing you the beautiful picture rather than the selfie sticks. I want to thank you, as always, very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and if you could give me a thumbs up, that definitely helps me out a lot and really makes me happy. And if you would like to see more videos just like this one, other Lightroom edits, etc., be sure to subscribe. Keep taking awesome pictures, keep editing awesome pictures, and of course, take care.